Hello, welcome in everybody. Welcome to your reading today. So today we're going to be doing a reading around how to deal with energies. It's really talking to what people might perceive as like dark or negative energies. It could just be, someone in the area having a bad day, not necessarily a negative person generally, but if someone has a bad day, that can kind of rub off onto other people. Attitudes rub off onto other people. You'll see it in like workplace dynamics, that kind of thing. It's really about just how to deal with the energy either from ourselves or from others. How do we manage that energy? So we'll start with 3 piles. Okay. Oops, just move that out of the way. I'll take this one actually. Okay, let's start and have a look at your 3 piles for today. The first card here for pile number 1 is Archangel Anael, and the pink Calcite with acceptance. The card number is 444. For pile number 2, you have Angel Balthiel and the Rose Quartz with Heart Healing, number 444. Okay. And for pile number 3, interesting that they're all angels. It's just funny when we're talking about how to deal with negative energies. If you just wanted to get a reading right now, call on your angels. So you've got Angel Isda and Carnelian with Nourishment. And again, same number, 444. Okay. So these are going to be your 4 piles for today. Sorry, 3 piles for today. So trust your intuition, see which one's calling to you, which angel calls to you, or even which particular gemstone calls to you. These 3 here. What I'll do is I'll give you some space and some time to tap into your intuition. Tap into even a question that you might have about how do I handle working with this person? How do I handle dealing with this negative thoughts that keep popping into my head from my own self? Whatever really taps you into your particular pile, or taps you into the right pile for you today in this particular reading. But I'll leave you now and I'll give you some time to pick whichever pile is calling to you. Hello pile number 1, welcome to your reading today. So really interesting piles that have come through. We were talking about, how to deal with toxic negative energy, whatever energy, dark energy, whatever you want to call it, that energy that just doesn't really resonate with us or pulls us down to a lower vibration. How do we deal with lower vibration energy? And we got 3 angels coming through. This deck has, like you can see here, goddesses. It has different ascended masters. It has all sorts, and this is the first time I've seen some of these cards, so it's just really nice when they really marry up to what we're talking about. And you've chosen acceptance. The message I was getting with acceptance was it is what it is. Some things are the way they are. Some people are the way they are. I feel like the reason why that would come through, because I always believe that we can look at ourselves and change or shift some of the stuff that we no longer want to hold on to. Maybe like transmuted is a better word than change. So it's not changing who we are, it's removing the stuff that stops us from being who we are. So when I say it is what it is, I feel like that's for if your energy is focused externally from yourself, if it's focused on this person, how do I change this person? That's for them to process and do. You can kind of shine a light on certain things to help them get to where they need to be. However, it's not your responsibility or your job. That's how this feels, this card coming through. And it's coming from such a supportive place. This feels like it's coming from like a root. There's like a root cause coming through. So I want to start off with this before I get into any of the cards. It's like something happened a long time ago, right? And it triggered something. And so it's stuck with you for a while. And then it's being played out by other people. Other people come into your life with that energy. And instead of worrying about why are they doing this to me? Why did they should have apologized that they bumped into me on the train or something like that, you know. I think the better question is, why did they even pop into my life? Why would this interaction help me today in my life? Was it just to snap me out of that, out of my mind? Was it to trigger something to remind me that I need to process this or deal with this? There's so many different questions and so many different answers, right? Whatever you choose is going to be correct for you. But ignoring certain things that pop up or not really looking deeper into the, let's say, hidden message, I feel like that'll be more beneficial to acknowledge that. Anywho, we've only got one card, but that came through very clear and I just wanted to get it out there. So now I'm really like warm from that message. So it does feel like a lot of angelic energy, which is interesting because today I was like, I don't know if I want to use these cards because they reflect a lot of the light, but I was very pulled to them. And this is the Angel Wisdom Tarot. So we do even have an angel deck. There was another angel deck also that I was called to, but I decided to pick this one instead. So, interesting. Let's take a look at what cards you get. So I'm just going to shuffle them a little bit and we'll see what can you do to help remove, heal, deal with other people's energies, your energy, whatever it needs to be said. The way it's feeling is like it's triggering something from a foundational level. So that makes me think of like early childhood or something that's really important to you, right? If your purpose is to be like a strong leader and people that aren't, or abuse that power is a really big trigger. You know, it's not right or wrong, it just is. It either triggers you or it doesn't, you know what I mean? So it's definitely something there. There's definitely something there. So we'll have a look. And I think these cards here will identify what that is. Oh yeah, we can squeeze them in. They're a little bit longer. They're a little bit longer than the usual. Okay, can we get a message, please? It's interesting. I really feel like in this reading, you can transmute this energy. This isn't something where you have to own it or hold on to it. You can redirect it in some way. It's like a magician kind of thing of like not bouncing it back and hurting the other person, but just directing it where it needs to go. Sometimes it does need to stay with the person. They need a spotlight reflected back on them, right? If they say horrible things and you call them out by saying, don't say that kind of stuff around me, or I don't want to hear that kind of thing, you know, whatever, just not in a negative way, just in a way that's like self-empowering, that reflects it back to them and it is their energy to deal with in a sense. Words are really strong and powerful. So we want to say them with love, but also with confidence in our power. It's not even a fine balance. I feel like there is a balance for all of us. Okay. I think I've talked enough. So let's take a look at your cards. So you chose acceptance. Oh. So you have the Sea Spirit Queen with honor animal souls. That is so interesting. I didn't say it, but it was like this Archangel reminds me. I don't know Anael, but or Anael, but the idea that came through, especially with this color, was Archangel Ariel was popping into mind with this one. And this one's just kind of touched on it. Honor animal souls. That's like that animal instinct, those like things within, that energy within, that stuff that pops up. It's not a negative thing to be triggered, so to speak. It's really just a question to why is this popping up in my reality right now? Why have I drawn this energy in? Have I been focusing on fixing someone or doing something or avoiding a particular energy instead of focusing on bringing in good energy, focusing on the good parts of my day instead of being like, oh, I have to go to work, I have to deal with this person, I don't want to deal with this person, I want to see them. You turn up, they're not even there. You're like, oh, thank goodness. You know what I mean? It's like, but the whole time you're focusing on them. Focus on you. Focus on what you want. Focus on the people that bring good energy to you. And then as much as you can, like get out of that energy, be away from that energy, take yourself out of the building. But also ask yourself, why is this person popping up into my reality? What am I avoiding? What am I missing? What am I not thinking about? It's a good time to reflect and question. I'm not saying you have to accept their behavior or anything like that. It's more of just a time to question. And honoring animal souls, it's like honor your own instincts and senses. Trust those. Trust your gut, especially if you are if you know your human design and you're a generator or a manifesting generator. That's very key here. Trust your gut. Sometimes some people are just the way they are. You know, can't change that, but you can tell them what you will and will not accept. This is a time for good boundaries. Good boundaries around yourself as well, and good boundaries within yourself and also with other people. Okay. So you've also got forgiveness, withholding, and releasing. I'm going to say again, this could be something from the past with this card. Just with this like letting it go, not holding on to it. I was actually just watching a video just before this, and the lady was talking about I think they were just going around Japan asking elderly what they think about foreigners in Japan. And one lady was like, you know, foreigners are all good. The only person or only race or whatever country she had an issue with was like the USA. And she told us a story that she had when she was younger because it was after the war, and so there were like stations of United States soldiers around, and some of them were not very nice to even her when she was 8 years old, right? Not very friendly. So she kind of held a grudge, and she even said that and spoke to it. And then kind of in the process of talking it out, she's like, so she held a grudge for all this time. But then she's like, she came to her own realization that there are good people and bad people in the US, right? There's good people and bad people in Japan. So she ended up saying, there's good and bad people everywhere. People, you need to focus on the individual, the individual themselves and your connection with that person. And it was just so interesting because she kind of got that in the end. But imagine holding on to something that long, all that time, due to one, bad interaction. It's just very interesting. And I think this is where this withholding and release, I feel like the withholding is like holding on to something from within. It might even be from the past, right? It might be from childhood. It might be even just further back, or it might manifest itself. If it's from like past life, I feel like it'll manifest itself into like really bad back, really bad neck, spine issues, something like that. It sometimes manifests into physical ailments. That might be something to let go of, even if you just ask your angel guides to come through. You chose an angel card and say, I no longer want to hold on to anything from that doesn't serve my greatest and highest good in this lifetime. You know, say something like that on from all vibrations, all dimension, all lives. I release this, and just picture it leaving. Could be as simple as that. Who knows? Remember, this is an open reading. You also have curiosity with bored and curious. Interesting. It's an interesting image. This little kitten and this woman holding it very close to her mouth. It's almost like feeling with the forgiveness card or with the withholding, releasing. It's like not wanting to speak out of turn, which is interesting. Or not wanting, it's interesting just how it's coming through. It's like, because it's close to her mouth and she's covering her throat chakra, it's like not wanting to be portrayed as something that doesn't feel resonant, right? It's like, I'm not going to say these types of things or call anybody out because I don't want to start an argument or get into a fight. But if you keep getting waves and waves of people and then that person leaves and you get kind of more energy at home or in the street or whatever, it's like there's a kind of a message there. There's something there that needs to be questioned, and maybe you are supposed to just stand in your power. I think it'll open up a more interesting experience in this lifetime. It's just interesting the way it's coming through. If it is about work, like if this is someone at work, it could even be like a reminder to start to think about some other kind of work or other kind of department. If you really love what you do, you don't have to leave. It's not losing if you just leave. It's winning if you find something that's better for you, right? I don't know. That's just like an extra message. But I wanted to mention it. If I feel it, I'm going to mention it. Okay, let's take a look at your tarot cards. You have the Two of Pentacles. You have the Page of Swords. It's definitely something from the throat. It's like you have a huge amount of knowledge. Like you have a lot of... It's so interesting because I feel like you doubt your own power or your own value. What is it? Your own light of God, if you want to say that. Your own light, your own worth. Not always. But I think in this particular situation with like negative, we're talking about negative energies. It's like there's something there that's just hard to know what is true and what isn't. It's like, I need to know facts. Trust the facts from your stomach, or trust the facts from your intuition. Trust you. Trust yourself. Trust you. Five of Cups. Nine of Wands. Yeah, it's really draining. It feels like these energies that are coming through that are not yours and not yours to deal with and not yours to process, especially in this life. So if it's past life stuff within, there is like, it feels like it's draining. It's draining your emotional energy and your physical energy physically. That's why I was like, is this causing manifesting into some kind of physical ailment? I will say you're doing really well on your path as well. That's definitely coming through. It's like you're doing well on your path. You're coming to the right areas. You're probably guided to this reading, which is great, right? Even if this is the only reading you get from me on here, if it helps you, that's worth more than you coming back and back and back. I'd rather you just get one reading that works for you, and then that's it. That's the goal, I guess. Right, so Nine of Wands. That's being like, you know, gone through stuff, gone through difficulties and challenges. There is like this balance between the higher realms and the earthly realms, so your physical and your spiritual. There is kind of like a balance here. I feel like some of you probably had more of an earthly experience at first, and then having like the more balance with the higher realm or spiritual side coming through now, and then vice versa. You might have had a very spiritual and now you're trying to ground that in. I don't think any way is necessarily easier or harder. It's just, it is, right? It's your journey. Okay. I've got the Lovers card. I do like this. I love the embracing true and deep intimate friendships, like true love and deep intimate friendships. really around the people that are important to you, having the balance with the challenges and the light, right? Giving yourself permission to breathe or relax or take a break, all that. Taste the food that you eat as well. Don't just inhale it or I mean, I say that because that's sometimes what I do. And I'm so trying so hard to be conscious of like tasting the food, appreciation to like whatever plant had to give up its like existence, I guess, to nourish my body, like all that kind of stuff. And it says here recovery from illness. It really does feel like it's manifesting into something. The best way I can put this into an example, which you might think is like, okay, like I'm not saying don't go to the doctor or anything like that. Trust your gut. If you need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor, go to a professional, go where you need to go. But if it's manifesting into like, I don't know, I'm going to use my term, a bad shoulder, like a really blocked shoulder, frozen shoulder, something like that. And you've had treatments, you've had pills, you've had like chiropractic, whatever. And some stuff works a little bit. It doesn't really take it away though. That's when it's time to like, it could be like this person in my life that needs to be out, right? That needs to be released. Even if they've already physically moved out of your life, that attachment to them that's no longer helpful being released. I do like the Raphael's coming through as well as another Archangel, because he deals, well, like he's perceived or seen as more of the one that's the healer, right? The loving healer. This is making decisions from the heart as well. Okay, really, really, really nice. You've got the Star card with Archangel Raphael being here. Star card, have faith. The future is bright. Dreams come true. This is, again, that forgiveness and release. This could be like past loved one, like either past the other side or like what is it, an ex, whether they're here on Earth or not. It's like that attachment, something like that. Takeaway resonates, of course, but that's how it's feeling. It's like she's pouring it out. She's letting it go. Whether it's like a person or like negativity towards your gender, race, whatever else, like bigotry against that. You don't have to hold on to that. That's not for you to take on. That's for you to be like, why did that kind of energy pop into my existence right now? What am I holding on to that I need to release? What is this telling me? It doesn't have to be everything means like a huge big story, right? Sometimes it's just to remind you that you're no longer in that it's the best way of putting this. You're in that energy anymore. You're not like that person anymore, or you were never that person, but you're now no longer going to listen or take on their poison or venom. You're just going to deflect it and leave it with them, because it's not for you to take on board, right? They might be like a leader or someone of a country. Eventually they're going to lose all their people, and what are they a leader of? Nothing. So it doesn't matter. They don't really matter. Okay, I don't know why that needed to come out like that, but that's how it came out. Jophiel, really nice. Beauty, how we perceive and see ourselves. We're very, very hard on ourselves, and we have like billions of like cells and organisms within our stomach, on our skin, within our body, blood cells, white blood cells to protect. Like there's a whole community within ourselves fighting to, I think fighting is probably a bit harsh, but like, really doing their best to keep us as one whole organism, as one whole human. So that might be a nice little like boost as well, just knowing that there are a whole big community, you could say, of cells and organisms running, and we don't consciously think, okay, white blood cells, go. You know what I mean? We're not like the commander-in-chief of the cells. But it kind of feels like that in a sense. Like they just know what to do. They know where to go. They know their purpose. And I feel like for some reason that's popping up. There's something that's tapping or knocking on the door of your purpose that you might be looking for, and it's showing that it's there. It's showing you these these negative energies are almost like the distraction, but also can be seen as like the highlight of, oh, okay, I need to speak up. I need to do X, Y, Z. I need to trust my instincts, however you want to see it. Yeah, and I think this one, Queen of Fire, standing in your power, standing in your brilliant, talented, and independent, standing in your power for sure is where this leads to. And I do like that the black cat's still here and she's grown up, right? Like the cat's grown up. She's still lunar, she's still like mystical and magical and has her inner child within her, but she's regal as well. She has both parts of her, all parts of her, all parts of him or her. No one's saying her because it's queen, but whether you're male or female, it's not really the question here. It's really about standing in the power. It says here, believe in yourself. That's literally one of the messages here, which is really what all this is about. Honor what you've been through. Honor your energy as well. Make sure it's not being taken or given so freely where it doesn't serve you and doesn't serve them either. Because when this card came out, and this card really clarifies it, it's like highly intelligent, highly... I feel like you underestimate yourself in some parts of your life because you really are this energy with this energy, and this feels like the studious, intelligent one who really has bright ideas, right? Like she's got across this. She probably could have jumped, but let's be honest, she's got across this by some kind of magical way. Like it just feels magical. So it's really interesting. She doesn't have to, like, yeah, sure, she could have jumped, but there's other ways. There's always a different idea, and maybe that doesn't turn into something that is going to be used forever, but it broadens the horizons of like our limits and extends our limits. So I do feel like these shadows that are coming through are really here to almost help, or almost like, I don't know if they're shadows, but like this, sometimes this negative energy is just a reminder of what we no longer need to hold on to, or we no longer need to limit ourselves with. A reminder of that we're much stronger than that we don't need to keep this or hold on to this. This is for them to deal with, process. Like this forgiveness isn't like acknowledging that what they did was okay. It's really just saying I'm no longer going to hold on to this and I'm going to move forward with what I believe is true to myself. If you need to come back to this reading as a reminder, come back to it, bookmark it, save it somewhere as well, and the timestamp. Okay. That is exactly what I see in your reading. I really hope this has helped. There's a lot of feminine energy here. All the cards up here are female. These two female, these are all female. Like a lot of feminine energy, and also this card feels very feminine from the divine kind of standpoint. Anywho, thank you so much for letting me read for you. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. So interesting. We're talking about how to deal with darker or more challenging negative energies. And all the cards coming through were all angels of some sort. This one here you've chosen is Angel Balthiel, who I do not know. Rose Quartz and Heart Healing. To me, this feels like higher heart, so it kind of reminds me of like two beings. Reminds me of Archangel Shamuel and also Lady Nada as well. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards that come through. Heart healing to me feels like boundaries in some sense. Just maybe need to be tweaked or looked at. Your angel guides, your guides themselves can look at that. Ask them, call them in to like almost do a body scan and see where there's any areas that could be balanced or improved to ensure that no negative energies impact or take not take control, what is the right way of saying this? Take advantage of any weak points, right? Get through to you in a way that you don't want to. This may just be helpful, really. Also, with all the angels coming through, I had already pre-picked the decks, and this one is the Angel Wisdom Tarot. So it's just interesting that popped through as well. Oh my gosh, I'm getting such interesting energy coming through. I was silent because I was like, your guides, your angels, your team are like very complimentary of you. Like there's so much heart love for you, which I believe is probably why you chose this card as well, the heart healing. It's like a lot more heart than others. It's not like you're better or worse. It's just like you have a bigger heart, or you have a bigger... When you have something that's like bigger, right, it feels like it can almost be hurt, or like the energy feels more heavier than for some. So it's just more sensitive, which means you're more open in a sense. And in ways that can be really good, being open and being a clear channel for good energy. It can also just mean that other energies can impact you or feel more painful sometimes as well. So, but this feels like more, like from their point of view, you're a blessing more than, in some ways, sometimes you might feel like it's more of a curse. It's definitely not from how it feels. Okay, let's take a look at your cards. Oops. Oh wow, so you have the heart chakra, gateway, love, capacity, and expansion. Legitimately what I was just saying, your heart is so open and big in the sense of, it almost like, it's like your heart is so big that it might even manifest into you actually having a bigger heart. You know what I mean? Like a physically bigger heart. Hopefully, you know, that's in a safe way, right? You don't have any heart issues. If you do, just saying, like, I'm not a doctor, so, you know, take this with a grain of salt. But if you do feel like you do have any heart issues, or stress and anxiety is popping up a lot, there may be because you're trying to heal or help in a way that's almost detrimental to self. And in some cases, some people need to help themselves. They need that healing. They need to go through the pain. In a sense, this is not you. This is like other people that you might be protecting or holding in some kind of energetical healing. They could be like exes or like past loved ones or something like that. I'm not too sure how it's coming through, but I'm just going to speak to this and take it or not. It's up to you. There's like there's something that's almost like you're protecting this soul connection. The issue is they're not feeling it, and they need to feel it. Like, not the love, they need to feel what they need to feel. They need to feel some of the anger, or like, probably not the anger actually, just some of the emotional energy. That however that manifests for them is their deal, I guess, is the best way to say it. But if this is manifesting into real life physical pain, this is your time to really just acknowledge that and call in your angels, guides to do what's right for you and everyone involved. However you do that, whatever mantra you want to create, trust your gut or your intuition with this one. Heart chakra gateway. Well. Yeah, your gateway is open. Interesting, you got reflection with outward inward. Yeah, it's like holding up a mirror to yourself and really looking at yourself. This could be like a twin flame or like a soul mate or something like that. I don't know if the relationship's still connected. If it ended and it turned it like something manifested into like PTSD or like something like that, or like stress or something like something, just take note of that, as potentially you'll still have some connection or strong link there with that, whoever that person was, that needs to be released in a way. I would say released, but this one's more looking at just like take time to acknowledge how you're feeling, where that's coming from, what your body's saying to you. Talk to your body as well. Do some automatic writing or some channeling and get that energy in. We're kind of at a day in the life 2024. It's like everyone's doing this now, so just try to do that as well for yourself. If you can't get into a space where you can get their message, or however it works for you, people are all different, and you should trust your abilities as well. So you got support with discouraged and encouraged. Find the right people to help you with this for sure. Like I said with the doctor thing, if there's like people you need to talk to, professionals or friends or close people that can, because no one's going to really understand what anyone's going through, but there's got to be people out there that can help you align with yourself or something. I don't know if you're looking for like a spiritual healer or learner or a guru, teacher, whatever. It's interesting. You'll find them in time. You'll find them when it's right. That's how that feels. You'll find the right person. You'll be very highlighted and called to. You won't have to question, is this the right person? Should I do this? Is this the right time? Sometimes it takes patience too. It's an interesting one because we're talking about negative energies and it's turning into like more of the things that are causing us negative manifestations in our reality. Okay, so you've got the Eight of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, the World card, and the Wheel. I was like, the World? No, the Wheel. So this is the Wheel of Fortune, or this one just says the Wheel. Just wondering what's on her. Oh, she's got fluffy dice around her neck. I thought it was, I don't know what it was. Anyway, I think we're going to flip them all. All right. So you've got another 8. You've got the 8 of Water, which is the 8 of Cups. This has Gemariel, I believe. The Archangel Gemariel. Wow, you've got the Wheel again. Interesting. This is really a time for you to take command of what the wheel looks like. There's like an aspect of like wildness to it, like the wild card with the Wheel of Fortune, but this doesn't feel like the Wheel of Fortune. Like none of them are saying the Wheel of Fortune, right? It's just saying the wheel. Both these decks, unlike the old one, it's the wheel. It's like, where do I want to focus my energy on next? What part of my inner world do I want to look at next? What part of my outer world do I want to look at next? This is your decision. You're definitely coming to an end of a cycle. You've got a ring here, you've got the ring here. This is circle, which is obviously this in the back, but then in this moon cycle, it's like a cycle is finishing, is completing. You're coming to a milestone, coming to a realization, whether that's like from an end of something, a beginning of something. I mean, end always has a beginning, the next phase, right? Unless it's like, but even if we pass, right? But anyway, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something in our life, in our continuation of our living experience. So it's a time for you to take control of this, take command, pull that into place. Yeah, and really find your abundance, really find where you sit and feel within self. This isn't the 10 of Cups, as 10 of Pentacles, which is like family and that kind of stuff. This is about you. This is also about prudence and discernment, doing what is right for everyone involved. And sometimes we have to be disciplinarians for ourselves as well. Our habits, our habitual kind of like habits and stuff like that. This is us being very, not protective. What's the right word? very honest with ourselves and where we're piling our energy and what we're doing with that. It does say enjoy the fruits of our labor and enjoy the fruits of your labor, hard work that leads to a luxurious life, buying yourself something special, happily and successfully self-employed, and enjoying your solitude. Yeah, enjoying being you, enjoying your own energy, having the confidence and being comfortable sitting in your own energy. It does look like you've done a huge amount of work on this as well, and potentially you got to here because you're starting to understand how your heart space really works and the power that is within you. It does feel like with this card there was something that was walked away from or moved on, right? It says here, need to move on, seeking more from life than what you're experiencing. Absolutely. If you're on the beginning of your journey, this is really the beginning. And it's for you to really command. Speak to your guides and angels as well. This will really help you get out of whatever toxic energy that's surrounding you, whatever's within you. If this is external, like if this is all external, I would say you're feeling it more because you're like strongly in tune with your heart chakra, not just your emotional heart like in Hollywood. It's not got nothing to do with that. It's like your unconditional love of life and how best make decisions from this energetical space within us. That gateway is open. It's expansive and expanding. Done a lot of work. That could be physical. I feel like it's in many areas, work, home, like you really are doing the effort, putting in a lot of work. There should be also fun in here to make sure you're having those and celebrating your successes and your milestones. I feel like that almost like that energy, like words, like happiness, love, that kind of thing, just raises the vibration within yourself and repels some of those negative energies that are around you. I don't think there's like an attachment or anything like that. It just feels like other people's energies have really free reign of flowing through you, and that impacts you. And it doesn't have to be for you to hold on to. So while you're expanding, you can also have good boundaries, right, with people and yourself. So there is that. But you're steering your wheel towards like the benefit, but you put in the work. You haven't got here by just going, yeah, I'll just have an easy life. You've got here by trusting in yourself, essentially, trusting you. That is exactly what I see with this and your reading. There is like this loyal aspect with this dog looking back to, it's like, this is a hard move, but it's the right thing to do for me, because why live a life of experiencing something that I don't want? I'd rather have a shorter life of experiencing exactly what made me light up. Do you know what I mean? Preferably a long life with doing the things that light me up, but I'd rather do that anyway. Okay, hope this really helps you. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today, pile number 2. Appreciate you. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So you have chosen the Angel Isda card, which is with Carnelian and the words nourishment. So it's an interesting one for you today, and actually everybody, because all the cards came through with angels. This deck doesn't just have angels, as ascended masters, has deities, goddesses. It has everything. So it's just really interesting when these came through. Actually, I'll start with this one. So it's dealing with dark or negative energies or challenging energies, right? Within ourselves sometimes, and sometimes from past lives, and sometimes, and probably a lot, in the interactions in our life. It doesn't mean they're negative and they're coming for us. Sometimes it's just like someone's had a bad day, right? And it just rubs off and it just transfers from one person to the next, and you can just see it. You can just feel it go through to other people. You have nourishment. Nourishment's an interesting one. I feel like all I was getting was trying to find that spark of like interest and vibe in life. That's how it was coming through. We'll see what your cards are though. Let's have a look. Oh, okay, this one. I'll go with this one. Yeah, this one. Okay, and some more tarot. So how to manage or deal with darker or negative energies, other people's negative energies, your own negative energies, all that. Okay, that one flew out. Got the Ace of Swords. It's interesting because that just makes me think of perception, how you feel. And are you in the right state of mind to deal with other people's stuff right now? Do you need nourishment? Do you need to take yourself out, treat yourself to a nice meal or a nice drink? You know, something like that. Do you need that treat? I feel like that's a good way of looking at it. Is that, do I need this? Do I need to like give myself a break or something like that? Now, because you'll notice it sometimes because people rely on certain junk food or whatever because it's like, it's what they feel like they need, or they'll cease to exist. Gotta ask yourself why. What's happening in your work life or life that's causing you to depend on a particular type of food or something that's generally not hugely nourishing, right? When we have a look, I feel like this is about perception, the Ace of Swords, especially the way her head is like spiraling. It's like, do I go into spirals or am I holding on to something that goes round and round and round and round? I feel like I've got this deck upside down. So you've got Code Keepers of Divine Love, be in love. Interesting. That spark, that passion, oof, that really is here. I'm not sure if it's really talking. I'll have a look at the rest of the cards before I get too close into like what I feel is coming through. But just with these two loving creatures, the first thing, I'll just say the first thing that popped up is you're here to actually share your love or share, what is the word? I don't know, it's like you're almost like a, your aura, this is, take this or leave this, but it's like your aura radiates very strongly of loving energy. Now, if your internal is off and not radiating that loving energy, that very strongly impacts others as well. That could be just a natural thing. I don't know if that's you or someone close into your life, like a coworker or a partner, but that's very strong. Like someone's influence is very strongly influencing others. So if you feel always in fear and this other person won't be in fear, right? They'll utilize that. They'll seek that out. It's almost like you're a magnet for whatever you don't want to experience, which is tough, but there's got to be some learning in there if that's true. We'll have a look at the rest of the cards though. So funny, I said it's about your perception. You got perceptive, got oblivious and aware. There's a lot of water in this too. It's like a lot of emotion. A lot of emotion. You also have celebration with these booties. Hopefully they're not going to be banned. But anyway, booties, it's just a booty. Celebration, mournful and joyous. Mournful / joyous. What do I feel with these? I would say one thing, I guess, is coming through. It's kind of like just a side note, but I'm going to say it anyway. If this is like a new connection or something like that, you're in a new, like, let's say just for example, you're in a new relationship And you know how that gives you that spark, that life, that fun. And sometimes if it turns into like, but what if this doesn't work out? What if this bad thing happens that happened last time? Or what if I'm not enough? Or what if they do something and I don't respond in the right way? It's almost like you're going to manifest that. Like you're almost out, like counting yourself out of the relationship or the job opportunity or whatever this is in life before it's even like started. It's even had a chance to begin, and you'll start to really pull, like, I don't know if it's like you're a really strong attractor or strong like you know, the moon and the tides. It's like you really have a strong influence over your emotions or others' emotions. So as best you can, right? Always honor your true feelings, but as best you can, try to see the light in things, because the shadow will really impact or draw that shadow towards you. That thing that you don't want, that you're constantly focusing on, that'll draw too, because you're constantly focusing on it. Shift your perception or focus. Okay. So you've got the Tower card, got the High Priestess. Oh, this is interesting. There's like some kind of like unlocking here. It's like the perception that everything is a tower moment. It's like, well, I lost my job, or the relationship broke up, or I left the job, or like I moved cities. It's like leaving a job is like your choice, right? You left the job. You're choosing to honor yourself and go where you need to go. Or you're moving cities. You moved your cities because you chose to where you moved to, right? You know, generally. So like try to see that in the light that it is. Sometimes I think some of these tower moments aren't necessarily, I'm not going to say they're not tower moments, because if you feel it's a tower moment, it's a tower moment. Not saying that, but some of these things can, depending on your perception, can be moved through much cleanly and easier, which I feel is exactly what you want, than continually expecting doom and gloom or expecting something negative to come through. Because it's actually you're unlocking. It's like you're, like some of these events occur or feel like they occur because they're actually helping you realize your own, what is this? Your own, I want to say magical draw. I don't know what that means. I guess it's like inner magic. Believing in your own inner magic. Because no matter, like, a million people could tell you how amazing you are, but if you don't believe it, then it's true, right? No matter how many people say how beautiful you are, if you don't believe it, then it's true, because you feel it in your head and in your heart and throughout your body, and then you radiate that. It's an interesting one. I feel like if this is turned into a relationship reading, I feel like someone will come through that's going to be more of what you want to experience in life, not what you don't want to experience in life. It's almost like you shift focus, you find the thing that you're actually focusing on. If I shift my focus from lack to happiness, or just going out and enjoying nature, then I start to draw that in, I start to attract that. So it's like you're a strong attractor, like a big magnet. And so if your head's always in lack, then you're going to really draw in that lack. Love this. Meditation feels really important here. It says insights that come from meditation. Whatever this reading means to you and whatever bits and pieces you've taken from this being in the center with the Ace of Swords, this really feels like a time to like really reflect and really think and go over what's in my head, what's going through that, where are my focuses? Where are my focuses on at this moment in this time? What am I really thinking of? And then go through, why am I thinking about that? Why is that important? What is actually more important? You know, it's really like just questioning. It's more about finding the right question rather than finding the right answer in this way the meditation is coming through, because there's a lot to celebrate. But if we don't see that, then we won't see the celebration, we won't see the good things, we'll just see the towers. We won't see the breakthroughs. We won't see the like lessons learnt. We'll just see whatever we want to see. Good old Two of Pentacles. So Two of Earth. It says here, working too hard or multiple jobs, a need to bring balance and fun into your life. Absolutely. This is definitely about bringing fun into your life, finding that joy within. Not finding that joy so you can show other people that you're finding your joy. Finding that joy because you want to find joy. That's literally what it feels like. It's not about what other people perceive. It's interesting how to deal with this negative energy in all the readings is really coming through with like shift perspective, shift where you hold focus, what is really on your mind at this time, because the energy will not want to be around you if you're not focusing on attracting it or focusing on it, period. Focus on the love, the light, the happiness, whatever is going to help you through this moment. And then you can get to a higher vibration where you can see everything at a higher level and then be able to make better decisions for you and everyone else involved. It's not like, okay, I'll just focus on happiness and always feel happiness. No, it's you got to feel how you feel. That's where we're getting to the questions of asking why I feel this way. I do like these like guys here, because it's like one's got a rose, bunch of roses, one's evolving himself. Like there's transformation and change here. There's a lot of swords, I feel. It doesn't feel like there's a huge amount of swords, but there's three swords here. 3 swords, 2 mages, a cup and a pentacle. So it feels like it's more about perception and mind. This is, even here, logical, perceptive. You're getting a lot of like very clear perception. Like this one feels like it, and this one even says perceptive. Like it's all about perception. All this. If you feel like you have an attachment of a dark entity or something, then you will feel that and you'll probably draw in something like that. So if you don't want that, don't focus on it. If you really do feel like there's something on you, of course, do what you need to do to cleanse and clear that. You have your angel guides here. You have your whole team ready to assist. Just call them in. But if it's just like maybe that's why all these bad things keep happening, ask yourself why. This is all about asking questions, not finding answers. It's like asking questions, getting an answer, asking another question, getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into it, instead of cycling on like the first question and you can have 1,000 answers and it's like, why are the answers different? It's because you're only looking at the surface. Go deeper. Deeper, 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 and you will find this heart connection, I feel. I don't know if it's a person or if it's like really in tune with yourself, but you already have like a big heart, a big will. I guess I feel like it's willpower. It's like a strong willpower. You have that. You're not going to lose that by opening up or starting to treat yourself kinder, I feel as well. That's really what I see in your reading today. I hope this has made sense. Of course, leave a comment if you want any clarity. It's an interesting one, right? But I do feel like the main kind of energy I was getting from is like a strong attractor, a strong drawer in of energy, which is tough sometimes when we are focusing on challenges, because we'll get more challenges. However, you have the ability, you have everything you need within you. So ask yourself, ask your body, why? Ask your guides, why? Ask your higher self, why this, why that? Because that will help for you to understand, one, ask better questions and get the answers that you need to know in that moment that will help you move through whatever perceived challenges you're going through. Okay, that is exactly what I see in your reading. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. Hopefully this has helped. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time.